About permanent credit. And today we are going to talk about in 2.41 about business minded focus. You might wonder what's going on in Gita on the go these days. We're talking about business, we're talking about credits. Well, we will understand today what actually is the permanent credit we can build up that we did understand in the previous verse also, but today we are going to elaborate more on it, understand more of it. Plus, we have to understand that the business mindedness that we often see around us with respect to other things, how should it be profitably employed in our lives to give us that permanent credit that we are looking for? First, the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnanandan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. The shloka number 2.41 is one of the most important shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. We will see how. Let's speak out the verse first. Vyavasayatmika buddhi eke he kurunandana bahushakha hai anantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Now in this verse, the term vyavasai has been focused on 2 times. It's been used by Krishna twice. What is vyavasai? Well, actually, vyavasai is something that is related to business, right? When we're talking of vyavasai in this verse, what does Krishna exactly mean by it? Now, here, in this context, Krishna means by vyavasai or the real business of our life as the knowledge, the goal or the aim that we need to have in our lives as human beings. As human beings, if we get in knowledge and realization that we are not these bodies but souls, what is the goal we should be having as a human? And what are the activities that we should be doing, as Krishna has been elaborating on this in the previous verses also. And in fact, the entire Gita, he's going to give us so many options of what we can really do to get to that goal, you see. So that is here the meaning of business, the real goal of life. That is Krishna consciousness. How is that so? We will come to that. First, let's take up the translation by Srila Prabhupada. Glories be to Srila Prabhupada, who has made things so clear and so, I would say, he stares at us, with that clear-minded approach, without any hanky-panky, without any mental speculations. He gives us the message of Krishna right there, right and clear. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So just let's have a look at this very profound translation also. Srila Prabhupada is saying that those who are on this path, first of all, let's understand what's this path. Which path? Actually, he's referring to what he's been telling Arjun in the previous 2-3 verses. He's just started telling about the Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga, which is eventually going to lead to Bhakti Yoga, Krishna is referring to that path of transcendence. You see, so we talked about Karma Kand in the previous some verses. And Karma Kand is below the level of transcendence, which means it is still on the material plane. But as soon as one step up in the ladder of yoga, he comes to the first step of spirituality, and that is Karma Yoga. So as soon as one steps on from Karma Kand to Karma Yoga, that's the next step, one starts to be called a spiritualist. He no longer is a materialist. So Krishna is referring to this spiritual path, which ultimately culminates in Bhakti Yoga, which is the highest form of yoga one can practice to achieve that one goal of human life, that aim that is being talked about in this particular shloka and translation. So Krishna is telling Arjun that those people who are not resolute, who are not focused on their goal, their intelligence becomes diverted, distracted, many branch, bahu shakha, many branches of intelligence. So they are those people who, at times have a look at that alternative, or maybe I can do that also. But this kind of waveringness, this kind of flickeriness of the mind and intelligence does not lead us to the right path, to our goal. Now see, even if somebody wants to achieve something big in life, in terms of material life, so, say somebody wants to become a very good, say, sports person, a cricketer, a footballer, or somebody wants to become a musician, and a good one at that, somebody who's famous. That person lives his passion day and night. We see that such people who go on to, become big in one field, we will see that they, for instance, if the person wants to become a musician, they breathe music, they eat music, they sleep music, they wake up with music, they do everything with music. So which means that they just cut off all the other things that they could have been doing in life to aim at that one single resolute purpose in life. So that one purpose doesn't remain their hobby. It becomes the only business of their life. And how well we know, till the moment we keep treating a certain activity, a certain thing in our life as a hobby, we never really become very, very serious about it. We become serious about something only when we treat that one thing as the only business of our life. That is when that single pointed focus comes into us to succeed in that particular field. Now, when this thing applies to everything that we are doing in our material lives, be it any small thing, be it trying to make a house, or, wanting to buy a certain brand of a car, or trying to bring up our children in a certain way, and to, make them become some big shots in a certain career, or trying to become something in our lives ourselves. So whatever the field if we are set on it resolutely, not irresolutely. If we are set on it resolutely, we will be able to achieve that goal. So what to say of the real purpose of human life? The real purpose that we have been awarded this human life after so many species that we have crossed in this ladder of life, 8.4 million, 84 lakh yonis, and ultimately been given or awarded this human life. What is the purpose? It's said that even the devatas, they want to come into this Manushya Yoni, because only in this Manushya Yoni can one understand the true purpose of life and do something to get out of this material, existence. So when actually understands that I am not this body, I am the soul, I am a part of Krishna, I am a part of God, and I need to reestablish that wonderful relation that I have with him, and then finally I need to go back home, back to Godhead, back to the spiritual world from where I came, because this material world is not really a place for gentlemen to be in. That's what, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, who is the guru of Srila Prabhupada, used to say. Actually, in this purport, Srila Prabhupada who's the author of this book, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, he based his life on this. He based his life on the teachings of the spiritual master. That became his single point focus in life. And that's why Krishna gave him the success that he got. Let's understand a bit from, so let's highlight a few points from the purport. Let's talk about first what Srila Prabhupada is saying in the beginning, that a strong faith that by Krishna consciousness one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, that is business-minded, focused intelligence. So what is focused intelligence in transcendent, in spirituality? The faith that if I practice bhakti of Krishna, Krishna consciousness, then everything else will fall into place. The faith that the Shastras, as they are telling us, that if we worship Krishna, then we have done the best for everyone. Because as in one of the Upanishads, we have also highlighted before, as Srila Prabhupada mentions in one of the previous purports, that if we want a tree to be healthy, we don't go about watering each and every leaf of that tree. What we do is we water the root of the tree nicely, because we should know that the root is going to transport all that is needed to the rest of the parts. Similarly, Krishna is the root. He is the cause of all causes. He is the source of all of this material manifestation. He is the source of everything and everyone around us. So if we want to make everything and everyone happy, if we want to achieve the ultimate goal, then the one thing to do is to make Krishna happy. If Krishna is happy with us, everybody will be happy with us. And that's a fact. It's a tried and tested fact. I would say, not just by me. In fact, I am just a beginning practitioner in this line. Actually, if we see all our acharyas, they are preaching by example, by following. They have shown in their life how making Krishna happy can make everything fall into place in our lives. That is single-pointed attention. Now, Srila Prabhupada again says that somebody who is worshipping Krishna, who is, connecting to Krishna on the transcendental plane, is actually on the absolute plane. And he's free of the relative things in this world. Actually, this material world is a world of dualities. It is a world of relativity. Everything is relative, So if we need to understand any truth in this world, we need to take the support of some other statement. It is a world of dualities. If in one part of the world it's day, the other part it is certainly going to be night. If somebody is happy, someone else must be suffering. If somebody is getting richer, somebody must be getting poorer. So in this world, the concept of good, bad, auspicious, inauspicious is only to do with this world. It doesn't apply to the spiritual platform, because that is not a platform of dualities. It's an absolute platform, which means anything that Krishna desires, anything that pleases Krishna is absolute truth. It is the absolute thing to do. So once we bring ourselves to that platform of working for the pleasure and desire of Krishna, then we come to the transcendental platform, and then we are safe from all the relativities of all the dualities of this life, So that is one thing to do. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, quotes a very beautiful shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shraddha shabde vishwas kahe, sudhrida nishchaya, Krishne bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hai. Which means that if we are sure, we are focused, if we are determined that we know that working for Krishna, everything, all our purposes will be solved. That's the way to be. You see, in fact, Srila Prabhupada in the further, parts of the purport says a very beautiful thing, that there's a verse, in fact, which comes up later in Bhagavad Gita. Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatmasu durlabhaha. That means people, are actually going about round and round and round in this world. Nobody really knows for sure what's the reality, what's the final thing. So that person who ultimately comes to this conclusion that Vasudev is all in all, Krishna is all in all, that great soul is rare to find, is very rare to find. That is the verdict of the Shastras, you see. So we need to really understand this, that, if Krishna is satisfied by one's actions, and everybody else, be it family, self, society, country, humanity at large, everyone will be satisfied. But there's one question that comes to our mind, and that's the final part of the purport of Srila Prabhupada, and very important part of it. How do we know that we are working for the pleasure of Krishna? How do we know that we are satisfying him by our actions? Now, Srila Prabhupada says this we can know only by following a bona fide spiritual master. Since we have been out of touch with Krishna for so long, it's not possible for Krishna to give us instructions and, in fact, voice his satisfaction to us directly. You see, the communication has been broken between us and God, us and Krishna. So the way we can actually get back to communicating with him is to follow the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master. It said, take all the time in the world to make a guru, because you need to make the right guru, a bona fide guru, somebody who is a true representative of Krishna. ठोक पीट के बजाकर देख लेना चाहिए, तभी गुरु धारण करना चाहिए. But once we have done that, then follow every instruction of your guru. Make your guru's instruction a single pointed focus of your life. That is the mantra of success of human life. Be it material success, be it spiritual success, any sort of success. A beautiful, in fact, verse is given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, one of our wonderful, acharyas in this line. He says, Yasya prasada the Bhagavad prasado, Yasya prasada nanagati gutopi, which means that by the satisfaction of the spiritual master, God becomes satisfied. You see, it said we get to Krishna through the Guru or by the mercy of the Guru, right? So unless we satisfy our spiritual master, Krishna can never be satisfied by us. If we are under this impression that we can perform bhakti all alone, all by ourselves, we don't need any guru, we are doing what we are doing rightly, and we know, you see, to success of human life. So unless we have the stepping stone to God, we are not going to get there, because the distance between us and God is too vast at the moment. We have been away from him so long that to understand him, to reach to him, we need a spiritual master between us. A spiritual master is not somebody who comes in between of us and God. Rather, he is a transparent via medium who helps us to see Krishna, who helps us to understand what Krishna wants from us. So you see, Srila Prabhupada ends with the sentence in the purport that when we are in perfect knowledge, not just theoretically but practically, by realization that we are these souls, then only we will realize what is the purpose of human life. And that's when we know what to do in our life. With that single-minded, business-minded focus. You see, somebody who is very business-minded, he evaluates every single thing in terms of money. Whatever he looks at, he immediately evaluates it in terms of money. Similarly, a spiritual practitioner, somebody who wants to do or wants to get to the real goal of human life, also has a business-minded attitude, but in terms to spirituality. He will weigh each and every action of his life in terms of whether this is going to bring me closer to Krishna or not, right? So that is the focus that's needed to succeed. That's all for now. Let's chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and be happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare